just wouldn't be able to sustain that without using paid professionals, ambulance or fire service. For the paramedic engines, because that cost is already there, it's a lot less expensive because you're only paying for fuel and maintenance to drive that truck to the call versus having, as the chief said, an entirely standalone truck in which you have to pay for the staffing and the personnel as well. And the real point of that is you don't want to separate the firefighting crews from their equipment. You don't want them, the call comes in, I'm going to get in this truck and drive, and then I'll come back. Well, next call, I'll get in a different truck and I'll drive to the scene. You don't want to separate them from their equipment, and you don't want to separate them as a team. You want them to always go as a team together with all of their equipment.
Thank you. We have a question?
Hi there. Just to introduce myself, my name is Philip Young. I'm the Director of Support Services for Paramedic Plus. So I want to ask a couple of questions pointed in response to the gentleman there about his wife who had to wait. These are like yes/no questions. Fire department in critical emergencies are allowed to transport, are they not?
Yes. Yeah, where they do have a rescue truck, they can transport.
They can transport. So
There's stipulations on that.
yes, there are. Absolutely.
Let's not be blocked by that.
No, under what conditions? That was my next question. Under what conditions?
Sure. So based upon the medical director's protocol, if it's a life-threatening situation, and it's a call in which there's a rescue truck on the scene, so keep in mind that of the 60 different fire stations, only 23 of them have a rescue truck, which looks like an ambulance. In those circumstances, they can transport a critical patient. On less urgent calls, they have to call the doctor and ask permission to do that. And on the remaining areas that use paramedic engines, that wouldn't be possible because it's a fire truck and they don't have patients to transport them.
So, sir, in defense of my colleagues here, it wasn't their fault that your wife wasn't transported immediately by fire. They could have done it if the folks on scene in the medical director's office felt like it was urgent need and all the apparatus was there and all the proper protocols were followed. They could have loaded your wife up and taken her to the hospital right away.
That's right, definitely, that's right. I'm not blaming Sunstar, except for one or two other
Well,
things.
that's just...
Something person I would talk to you about. The point is, I don't want some government guy, taking care of my health, making a decision for me. I want the first guys to do it without his qualification.
Well, it's the protocol that's followed in the...
Yeah, wait a minute.
That's
He's got the floor,
Okay.
Bill.
Well, he was talking to me.
I was talking to him.
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify because the statements you made were very strong to my colleagues about we did something wrong. And we didn't do anything.
No, I said the dual system is wrong. Yeah.
Excuse me, isn't pain in the chest an emergency that they can take me to the hospital?
Can you bring the mic back this way,
Yeah.
please?
I'm not qualified to do
Greg?
Yeah, certainly a chest pain call is an emergency call. The reason why we don't transport with lights and sirens is we like to keep the patient calm and relaxed and not cause undue stress in the heart. Each case is obviously independent of that. Really, regardless of whether you're talking about fire rescue or Sunstar in terms of the ambulance service, it's the county commission setting a public policy of how fast do you want us to be? How fast do you want your fire truck? How fast do you want your ambulance? And there's a cost with preparing to have enough personnel and enough equipment to do that. And so if you said collectively as a group, I want my ambulance to arrive in 2 minutes, I want my fire trucks in 2 minutes, or I want them in 10 minutes, those are different levels of service. And towards that end, what we've done in 2009, we established a level of service resolutions by the county commission acting as the Emergency Medical Services Authority to set those. And the direction that they were set was to follow the National Fire Protection Association guidelines. It's NFPA 450. It sets that we have a paramedic unit on scene 90% of the time, not an average, but 90% within 8 minutes. Well, in our local community, we're faster than that. We're at 7.5 minutes. And so we set those first by the contract And now by having a service resolution of how those are set, now, economic times get worse, you may have to lengthen that time. In good economic times and you want to improve your service level, you could bring those times faster and shorter. But irregardless of whatever approach is taken, whether it's fire rescue doing all of the services or the split combination of fire rescue and Sunstar, you still have transport capable trucks and non-transport capable. So even in this case, it may have been a fire engine that arrived first and then a rescue truck from an adjoining community, and that is part of Sanford Military's plan. So dual response happens in 98% of the communities, and you're not going to see that change, even if it's a red truck or an orange truck.
Thank you. Let's go back here to the back. You want to come up here?
I have a problem with privatization and culpability. Where are your paramedics trained, Suncoast? Sunstar, where are they trained?
Right there.
Where are Sunstar's paramedics trained? Are they trained in Florida? Are they trained by Florida?
Oh, they live here. Yeah, they live here. So all paramedics go through the same.
No, I mean the ones from Sunstar. Do they all go through that?
Sure, yeah, they live here in the community.
Okay.
You know, they live right here in town. Most of them go to the community college. So all of our paramedics go to St. Petersburg College.
So
or
same standards.
Same
across the
standards.
board.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a retired correctional nurse. I'm from Connecticut. I came here 5 years ago. I'm also a BMT with the FEMA. I'm with the CDC, Red Cross. I did 9/11 and Katrina. In my state, and I have a license here too, nurses are not allowed to just ride by when they see an accident. If they see an accident, if you have a marker on your car and you ride by and somebody sees it and reports it, they can take your license. The state can take your license. So when I first moved here, if I was driving my car and I saw an accident, I stopped because that's how I was trained. I also rode a fire truck as BMT. That's what I did in my state. So I was at an accident and I stopped and I was talking to the lady and then Sunstar came and the guy practically threw me out of the way. And I said to him, "Sir, I'm a nurse. I cannot pass down to you. As a paramedic, that is a lower grade. In my state, you cannot do that. Okay? I can pass up to a doctor, but I cannot pass down to a paramedic or an EMT." And his attitude, "Well, are you going to get on the ambulance with her?" You know, a problem I have, and I lived in a condo, and there are little old ladies that call, and the fire department comes, and they are sweet and wonderful, and they talk to them, and they talk to the people in the area to try to find out who their first responder, first person is. But then Sunstar comes, and the attitude is, "Get out of my way, I am in charge." Well, the problem is, after they leave in that ambulance, and they go with that person, no one knows where they're going. And when their families call, there isn't an answer. And that's a scary thing.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Mandeville, EMT with Sunstar Paramedics. Been doing about a year and a half now, give or take. To answer some earlier questions, we're all trained in the same places as the firefighters, actually. All various schools around the area, we all take the same standardized tests. As far as why you weren't allowed in the unit, the laws do not allow a doctor to suddenly give us orders without us clearing with medical control. Our doctor that we answer to writes our protocols, unless they're willing to take full responsibility and write it. So he had an obligation to actually ask you that. Now, if you had an attitude, I'm sorry, 500 people in the system, not everybody's really nice. We do our best to notify family, friends, whoever is connected to the person, where the patient is going. We don't always do that if the person's not there because that violates HIPAA and it causes more legal issues.
Yeah. Actually, I can certainly back him up on HIPAA. Own an insurance agency, as I have for over 20 years. Ever since HIPAA came in, I can't hardly talk to the kids of my clients anymore. So it has really muzzled us.
We just want to make sure it's real clear to everybody, this is not the fire department against Sunstar or vice versa. Sunstar does a fantastic job. Their training is equivalent to what we do. We all train the same. We take the same continuing medical education classes every month. Most of us go to the same college to get our actual initial training done. We work together, we work inclusively together, and they do a great job for what they do. This is an alternative plan to what the county put out to the cities and the fire districts. This is an alternative plan to what we believe was a tax shifting plan from the county. They asked for alternative plans, we made one. This wasn't about putting the fire departments against the ambulance company or vice versa. We both do great jobs. Both of us do fantastic work. We work together on the streets. We do the same schooling. So I want that to be clear to everybody in the audience that this is not what that's about. And they are all trained identical. Everybody is trained the same.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. So in the interest of time, we'll take a couple more comments, questions, I should say. They have turned into comments, but that's okay.
I've got a very loud voice.
No, everybody thinks so.
No, I do. My name is Eve Van Dyke, and I am a permanent resident, and my family has used both the Lealman Fire Department because we live there, and Sunstar has shown up. If I'm wrong, correct me. We are the public. We are the people who lay on the ground, see our loved ones in accidents, live or die. The bottom line is not so much who wins, loses. That's not a win-lose. The questions I hear my people around me ask, why are they making, the administrators of the county, the decisions for all of us? Do we have a say in it? And why are we allowed to vote? And why isn't there more fair listening to the fire departments that want to do more? Because if you think they're getting really listened to, they are. And then they're getting dismissed. And you saw that we just had a new contract signed. Did you get to vote on it? I didn't. So don't just sit there or just go home and forget it. Go to your neighbors. Go to your meetings where you all are older, most of us. Sorry, guys. But go to your organizations. Speak about this. Get them to go to the meetings. This is nice representation, but this is not a good representation of everything that goes on. It's your life. Give a damn. Go to your fire departments, listen to them, ask them what they need. Ask them what they want to do for you. Don't let the government make your decision. It's yours.
Barbara.
Yeah.
She can put the comment.
Yeah, Nancy, and then you can take it.
I just want to point out, and I couldn't give a better comment on the importance of civic involvement than that. So at the risk of interrupting that passion, which I think is just phenomenal, I want to let you know that you do have a voice and you do have a vote through your representatives. You have 7 county commissioners, 4 who serve in single-member districts, 3 who serve at large. It means every single person in here votes for 4 of the 7 commissioners at some point in the elections process. You do have that voice. We are out here. I'm here today. I was at a Palm Harbor town hall meeting earlier this week with many of my colleagues. We take public comments at every single meeting that we have. I read my email all the time. Sometimes you'll get a response from me at midnight because that's sometimes when I'm able to get to it. I know the other commissioners take a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls. We get a lot of input. So you do have your voice in this process, and thank you. And exactly what she said, it's preaching to the choir, but tell your friends to be involved in this process.